Hi friends, welcome to the video tutorial on embedded system. In this, I am going to take the module 5 topic RTOS based design. In this session, we have to cover what is RTOS, which are the basic operating system functions and operating system services. So we need to start from what is RTOS. RTOS means it is real-time operating system. Before that, what is real-time? Real-time is the time in which it continuously increment at specific regular intervals from its starting, and the time will be taken as the reference for the system by calculating the different instances. So we need to know what is RTOS. RTOS is a real-time operating system. First, it is a multitasking operating system and it consists of some hard or soft real-time constraints. Here the real-time constraints means the constraints on the occurrences of some events or some system expected responses and the latency to that event. So this is what RTOS. Then next we will move on to the basic operating system functions. This is no need to study briefly. Some is pointed out here. There are process management, resources management, device management, input output devices subsystems, network devices and subsystems management. So we move on to the operating system services. It is more important in this lecture. So operating system services there are four: operating system goal and two processor modes, user mode and supervisory mode, then the system structure, then the last topic, kernel. So first we move on to the operating system services goal. First one is easy sharing of resources as per schedule and allocation. That means resources here means the processor, printers, displays, memory or some input output devices, etc. Here the resources will process some request from the operating system. Here the specialty is that no processing task or thread will use any of the resources until it is allocated by the operating system, so that it is given easy sharing of resources as per schedule and the allocation. Then the next point is easy implementation of the application program with the given system hardware. So easy implementation means in RTOS it is easy to implement the application softwares using the operating system functions and the processors which are provided by the operating system. Then the next services goal is scheduling of the processes. Scheduling means they are scheduling some of the context switching and some of the interrupt servicing mechanism. Then the next is management of processes. Here in management of processor, not only the process management, they are also taking care of task, thread, memory and some device management also. Then the next point is common set of interfaces. Here it will integrate the various devices and some applications through some standard and some open units. Next point is maximizing the system preference or system performance. So the system performance is letting the different processors to share the resources in a most efficient manner. Then the next is portability, interoperability and easy use of interfacing functions. Portability means the application on different hardware configurations is possible, and the interoperability means of the application on different network is possible. And easy use of interfacing functions means it is easy to use in graphical user interfaces and application interfaces. Then the next we move on to the two processor modes. When an operating system running, the processor system bus will be running on two processor modes. They are first one is user mode and the second one is supervisory mode. So in user mode, first it is not a system call and it does not permit to read and write into the protected memory. That into the protected memory allotted to the operating system functions, data, stack and heap. The protected memory space here is also called as kernel space. Then the next one is supervisory mode. It is something different from the user mode. That is, here the execution mode on some processors which enable the execution of all the instructions including the privileged instructions. That is, it will allow, it is a system call, it will allow the permission to read and write into the protected memory. Only the system call is permitted to read and write into the protected memory that is allotted to the operating system functions, data, stack and heap. Here it is the mode in which the operating system usually runs. So the operating system usually running on the supervisory mode, not on the user mode. So these are the two important processor mode. Then next we move on to the 7 layer in the system structure. So the 7 layers are application software, application programming interface, system software, operating system interface, operating system, hardware operating system interface and the hardware. These 7 layer system structure is very important. So first we have the application software. It is a program or group of programs that designed for the end users. So it will execute as per the applications run on the given system hardware using some interfaces and some system software. Then the next layer is application programming interface, that is our API. So it will provide the interface between the application and the system software as its the name suggests. So it will be the interface between application and system software so that it able to run on the processor using some of the given system softwares. Then the next layer is, which is very important, it is the system software. So it is a type of computer program that is designed to run on a computer hardware and the application program. It will be serve as the interface also, and this layer gives the system software services other than those provided by the operating system services functions. Then we move on to the next layer, the fourth layer, operating system interface. Here the interface between above layers and the operating system, that means it is the interface between the application software, application programming interface and system software and the operating system. So between that three and the operating system, it will act as an interface. It is for input and also for output. Here the kernel supervisory mode services and file management and some other functions of the operating system services are provided by this operating system interface. Then we move on to the next layer, which is the fifth layer, that is operating system. Here the kernel supervisory mode services and the file management and some other functions will be managed by this operating system, and this operating system is the main interface between the computer user and the computer hardware. For a normal user, here operating system is the interface between the user and the computer hardware. Then the next layer is hardware operating system interface. Here it let the functions to execute on the hardware. On the hardware means on the processor, memory, on the ports and some other devices. Then the last layer in the structure is hardware. Hardware includes, as we all know, it includes processors, memories, buses, timers and some other physical devices and also some device networking. Then here we completed the 7 layers of operating system services and we move on to the kernel. So when we talk about kernel, it is the middle layer between the application system software and the system hardware that we have already told in the system structure. An operating system includes a kernel with some management and without management. So here first is a kernel with device management and file management as a part of the kernel in the given operating system, and next is a kernel without device management and file management. So both are available. And we can say that kernel is the basic structural unit of any of the operating system in which the memory space of the functions, data, stack are protected from access by any of the calling other than the system call. System call have access but other calls have not access to the operating system. And kernel can be defined as the secured unit of the operating system, and this is the unit in which the supervisory mode will operate, not the user mode. The supervisory mode will be operated. Here there are some functions of the kernel. They are process management, memory management, file management, device management and device drivers, and some input output subsystem management. Here, as we already studied this management, so no need to study in this detail. However, these are all functions maybe outside the main important is it is these functions are maybe outside the kernel in the given operating system. So especially in embedded system using the microkernel of RTOS, so this makes the kernel code more simple and more accurate. So here these functions are outside the kernel, sometimes, not at all times, sometimes it may be outside the operating system. So next we move on to the process management, which is also somewhat important. Process management, and we have completed the kernel, RTOS services, operating system functions, and all we have already completed. Then next we have another topic in RTOS based design. They are process management and some timer functions. So here is the process management. There are 5 functions for the process management operating system kernel are given. They are these 5 functions, in which first one is creation to deletion. That means it enables the process creation and activation, or running, blocking, reassumption, deactivation and deletion. That it means it will do from creation till the deletion. Then the next function is process structure maintenance. It will enable the process structure maintenance and its information at processor control block, that is PCB, processor control block, which you are already familiar with it. Then the next third function is processing resources request. That means processing the resource request by processes made either by making calls or by sending some messages. That making calls means some system calls, and by sending the messages. Then the next one is scheduling, that is process scheduling. That one of the example is our priority scheduling mode. Then the last function of process management is inter-process communication. Inter-process communication means the processes will synchronize by sending as messages from one task to the another task. Here it will synchronize the process. So this is the last function, and these are the 5 process management functions of the operating system kernel in the real-time operating system. Next, in this slide we are going to explain about the timer functions. Process management we have completed. Then the last topic is timer functions. In this slide, the main task of the timer function is to interrupt the CPU after a specific period of time. That means it interrupts the system timer with at tick at regular intervals. So the system time will be interrupted at specific interval of time. So it is the system timer intervals are already predefined by the number of RTCs, that is real-time clock ticks, which can cause some of the timer interrupts. An interrupt on a tick can be defined by some system clock interrupt, that is sys clock inter, that is given in the third point. The full form is system real-time clock timer interrupt. So the number of system ticks per second can be set by any of the system timer functions, and each RTOS has some function for defining the operating system ticks per second, which will be defining the period of generation of the sys clock interrupts, and in which in turns it will enable the use of number of timer functions of the operating system. So these are all about timer functions, and these are the exemplary timer functions, some of the examples. So we have given 6, not 6, we have given 8 timer functions. Here 6 are more important, so we will go through all the 8 ones. Then the first one is, here we have given operating system tick per second. that it will defines the number of system clock ticks per second, which is also the number of system clock interrupts that we have seen. Then the next operating system function is OS tick init. From the name it suggests it will initiate the clock ticks in the system. Then the next is operating system time delay. If one task is executing and it is using the operating system time delay, then it will delay the task which is executing. Then the next is operating system time delay resume. From the name suggests it will delay the task, or it will delay some task, and that delayed task will be resumed using the operating system time delay resume off. Then the next one is operating system time set off. From the name suggests it is used for setting the system clock tick count value, and from this we can count the system clock count. If it is OS time set of 1000, then the count will be 100, and if it is operating system time set of 0, set the count as 0. After each of the clock ticks, it will be incremented by 1. Then the next function is operating system time get off. We have set the time using the above function, and we will get that count using operating system time get off. Then next is two important operating system timer functions. They are operating system sem pend off and operating system mbox pend off. So first is operating system sem pend off, in which sem means semaphore. So it will wait for the semaphore release and sem value becoming 1. So the first variable is sem value, it will becoming 1. Wait period can be as per t wait. If a semaphore is released in this period, then taken it and task proceeds further. If the t wait is equal to 100, then it will take or wait for 100 system clock ticks, and if it is 1, it will wait for 1 clock tick. Sem error is the last variable that points to the error. If wait period is equal to 0, then it will wait indefinitely. If it is 1, wait for 1 tick. If it is 100, wait for 100 ticks. If it is 0, it will wait indefinitely. So we move on to next, OSM box pend off. It also has 3 variables: sem value, t wait, and mbox error. Here it also wait for the mailbox message. In the above one, it will wait for semaphore release. Here it wait for the mailbox message for the period as per the second variable t wait. If the mailbox is posted the message, then taken it and task proceeds further. After the t wait it is not coming, then the defined period, the task codes proceeds further. Here also if t wait is 100, then wait for 100 system clock ticks. Then the last variable mbox error, it will point to the error as like sem error. If 0, here also it will wait for the indefinite amount of time. So these are the 8 operating system exemplary timer functions. These are somewhat important in our topic, operating system based, real-time operating system based design. So what we have covered is what is RTOS, real-time operating system, and we have said what is real time, and some of the basic operating system functions we have gone through and moved through operating system services. For operating system services we have already moved through. Then at last we have also discussed about some process management and the timer functions, and the examples are also seen. So this is all about RTOS based design. Thank you.